This is not a winning argument for Governor Newsom. And because it's not a winning argument for him, it's not going to be a winning argument for Mayor Karen Bass, and it's not going to be a winning argument for the Democratic Party. Where would I get that from? Let me read some stuff to you.
This is not a winning argument for Governor Gavin Newsom. And because it's not a winning argument for him, it's not going to be a winning argument for Mayor Karen Bass either. And make no mistake, it's not going to be a winning argument for the Democratic Party. You don't have to take my word for it. The warning signs are everywhere. Even Stephen A. Smith, a voice not exactly known for siding with conservatives, just dropped a bombshell explanation for why Gavin Newsom's presidential dreams may already be cracking. And it's not what most people are paying attention to.
And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration, it's on the specifics as well, in which the American public is with Donald Trump and the Republicans, and that is why Donald Trump is eager to take on this fight and eager for those scenes out of Los Angeles.
Did you hear that, Governor Newsom? Did you hear that? I know you're about to leave office soon. I get that. But did you just hear that? America is with Donald Trump. America is with the GOP on this issue, okay? He's gaining traction in the midst of distracting us from all the other issues that involves him right now because of what's going on in the streets of Los Angeles.
Newsom has never fully shut down the speculation about a White House run. He leaves the door open carefully. But according to Stephen A. Smith, there's one overlooked reality that could wreck everything before it even starts. This isn't about identity politics or party loyalty. It's about public sentiment. And right now, the country is moving in a direction Newsom doesn't want to admit. Immigration isn't just an issue anymore. It's the issue. And on both the broad picture and the details, the American public is increasingly siding with Donald Trump and the GOP.
Undocumented population. According to the research, estimated numbers as of 2022, California had about 1.8 million undocumented immigrants, the largest in any state in the United States, though down 120,000 recently, okay? This equates to roughly 7.3% of California's total population, by the way, involving broader immigrant workforce. Approximately 1/3 of jobs in California are held by immigrants, including legal, naturalized, and undocumented. So what happens here is that you have people that are looking at the migrant crisis, looking at undocumented immigrants, looking at illegal immigrants, seeing them use the healthcare system. Ever heard of Medi-Cal? And then remember with California and Newsom, they were talking about how billions were spent.
Stephen A. points out something crucial. Donald Trump is eager for this fight. He wants the scenes coming out of Los Angeles. He wants the confrontation. Because every headline, every protest, every clash reinforces his message. While Newsom tries to frame Trump as unpopular, the reality looks very different. Trump is gaining traction, distracting from his legal battles, and shifting the national conversation back to immigration enforcement. What Newsom thought was a political trap is turning into a gift, and the public isn't buying Newsom's spin.
Donald Trump has lost cases before when states and others have filed lawsuits against him. Some of the executive orders that he's issued has not been successful. And we know that his efforts in this particular instance may end up being derailed. But that does not mean that Governor Newsom is not playing directly into his hands. He himself said, this is exactly what Donald Trump wanted. Well, forgive this rhetorical question, then why the hell are you giving it to him? Why the hell are you playing right into the hands of Donald Trump?
Let's talk facts. As of 2022, California had roughly 1.88 million undocumented immigrants, the highest of any state in the country. That's about 7.3% of the entire population. Immigrants, including legal and undocumented, now hold about 1/3 of all jobs in California. Stephen A. says voters look at these numbers and then look at overwhelmed hospitals, crowded schools, strained housing, and rising costs. And they connect the dots. Programs like Medi-Cal, already under pressure, feel the weight. And people notice.
The reason he won a popular vote. There's a reason he won the Electoral College vote. There's a reason he won every swing state. There are people within the United States of America that want our immigration crisis addressed and want the situation resolved somehow, some way. And the person that seems eager to bring a resolution to the table is President Donald Trump. Now, others may challenge that because they may say we had a bipartisan agreement when Joe Biden was in office that Donald Trump convinced the GOP to nix because he wanted to use it as an issue to favor him during the election. Well, damn it, it worked. It worked. And I got news for you, Governor Newsom. It's working now.
Stephen A. makes it clear this goes beyond party politics. It's about leadership and accountability. Americans see public services stretched thin and feel like no one is in control. That's why Trump's message resonates, even with people who don't like him personally. They believe he's at least willing to confront the problem. Newsom, on the other hand, looks reactive, defensive, and worse, predictable. When leaders appear more focused on resisting enforcement than managing consequences, voters drift toward whoever promises action.
This is not a winning argument for Governor Newsom. And because it's not a winning argument for him, it's not going to be a winning argument for Mayor Karen Bass, and it's not going to be a winning argument for the Democratic Party. Where would I get that from? Let me read some stuff to you. This is on the state of California alone, just on some research note here. Current deficit. California faces a projected $12 billion. This is according to research. California faces a projected $12 billion additional budget shortfall for 25-26, meaning 2025-2026, on top of previous gaps, marking at least the third straight year of structural deficits.
Stephen A. doesn't mince words. He believes Newsom is walking directly into a trap Trump laid out. Newsom sues the federal government over ICE operations, accuses Trump of overreach, and even challenges enforcement publicly. Newsom himself admitted this is exactly what Trump wants. So Stephen A. asks the obvious question, then why are you giving it to him? Loud confrontations don't make Newsom look presidential. They make him look combative and politically theatrical, exactly the framing Trump thrives on.
Annual spending exceeds revenue by $10 to $20 billion, prompting reliance on reserves, borrowing, and accounting maneuvers. Without reform, state debt could reach $42 billion. Rainy day reserves. The governor plans to use $7.1 billion from reserves, leaving a total cushion of approximately $15.7 billion by mid-2026. So now you're digging in to the rainy reserves, okay? Rainy day reserves.
Stephen A. reminds everyone why Trump won. Popular vote. Electoral college. Every swing state. Immigration mattered. Voters wanted the crisis addressed. And whether people like it or not, Trump positioned himself as the one willing to act. Critics argue there was a bipartisan deal under Biden that Trump torpedoed for political gain. Stephen A.'s response is brutal and simple. It worked. And now it's working again. Immigration chaos strengthens Trump while weakening Newsom and the Democrats nationally.
And then remember with California and Newsom, they were talking about how billions were spent, okay, on illegal immigrants. And as a result, there's a shortfall there, and you're looking for federal assistance. These are the kind of things that are going on in the state of California. Gavin Newsom knows this better than anybody. So why make this argument as vociferous as it is against the Trump administration and then engaging in challenging the head of ICE to come and arrest you? Why would you do that, Gavin Newsom? Why would you do this? Here's the quote. He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. That kind of bloviating is exhausting. So Tom, arrest me. Let's go. That's Gavin Newsom daring the head of ICE, Mr. Tom Homan, to arrest him.
Immigration isn't Newsom's only problem. California is staring down a $12 billion projected budget shortfall for 2025 to 2026, on top of years of structural deficits. Annual spending exceeds revenue by $10 to $20 billion. The state is digging into rainy day reserves, $7.1 billion, leaving a cushion of about $15.7 billion by mid-2026. State debt could climb to $42 billion. Stephen A. argues this economic record is devastating for someone with presidential ambitions.
Tom Homan, in case y'all don't remember who the hell he is, he's been a guest on this show. And this is a man, okay, that is not messing around. And he has made it very, very clear that he is not beyond arresting elected officials. He is not beyond arresting sitting mayors, sitting governors, whomever. He doesn't give a damn. He's not playing. And Donald Trump just spoke publicly today saying if he was Tom Homan, I would take Gavin Newsom up on his offer and arrest him. But again, In case you don't remember who he is, let me show you who he is. This is Tom Homan months ago, right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Take a look at who this man is and what he stands for with the issue of illegal immigration.
Christians are sanctuary criminals. And we're going to hold them accountable. And Pam Bondi, now that she's the Attorney General, she's already filed lawsuits.
Then comes the moment that says it all. Gavin Newsom dares former ICE Director Tom Homan to arrest him. "Come get me," he says. Stephen A. calls it exhausting. Newsom hasn't committed a crime. He's not undocumented. So what is this? Leadership? Or theater? According to Stephen A., it's pure performance. Headlines without solutions. Optics without outcomes. It plays well on social media, but it does nothing to fix the underlying crisis, and voters can tell.
You think Gavin Newsom is running for president?
I think he's the likely alternative.
That's interesting because I like Gavin a lot. Now, I hope he runs for president because I think getting to the national stage would help with the one thing I have trouble with him about, which is sometimes he's way too cuckoo, woke left.
Even Bill Maher, no conservative, has sounded the alarm. He says Newsom has drifted too far into woke ideology and away from common-sense governance. Crime, costs, and public confidence are all moving in the wrong direction. The critique hits harder because it comes from inside the Democratic camp. The conclusion is unavoidable. Newsom's style is polished. His messaging is sharp. But outcomes matter. And right now, voters see performance instead of progress. That's why this isn't a winning argument. Not for Newsom, not for Karen Bass, and not for the Democratic Party.